Hey enablers, Mike Kunkle here. Happy Friday and welcome to this edition of Sales Enablement Straight Talk. This week, I want to share why sales enablement must start with strategy and planning, especially if you want to make an impact with enablement. Let's dig in. As you know, enablement does not exist in a vacuum. Organizations are ecosystems, and this is why I spend so much time with the building blocks of sales enablement talking about systems thinking. Take a look at this chart. It starts on the left with strategic planning, moves to the middle in tactical go-to-market planning, and ends with talent and execution. You can dig into the details if you'd like. Pause here if you'd like to take a deeper look. The bottom line here, though, is the work on the left is a prerequisite to the work to the right of it. Strategic planning must be done before tactical planning can be done effectively, and that planning must be done before you can execute. We don't do all of the work in sales enablement, do we? Some of this is handed to us. Our job is to align with organizational strategies and objectives and ensure that our enablement work will deliver on what matters to senior executives and our senior sales leader. We support some of tactical planning, as you can see, and much of talent and execution. As a sidebar, if you also support marketing and service or customer success, you would need to expand those under tactical planning as well. Now, if you follow my work, you have certainly seen this before. This is a situation assessment. And what we're talking about is why I recommend conducting a situation assessment of your very own sales force. It starts with point A, or the current state, and then point B, or the desired future state. You can use CoinUp as you analyze this. What are the challenges or opportunities in the current state and the impacts of not addressing those? Jumping over the end for a second, what are the outcomes and the priority of those outcomes in the desired future state? Then you can do a gap analysis to determine what are the needs, or the N, meaning what will it take, what capabilities, what actions to move from the current state to the desired future state. That's your gap analysis. Then you can do an impact analysis. What is the difference between the current state and the desired future state in terms of the impacts lessened or avoided and the outcomes that you've gained? If you dollarize that, then you can do an ROI analysis, or at a minimum, identify the compelling business issues, tie these to strategic objectives, and begin to prioritize what you want to execute and do that accordingly. An important dot connection here, because I see this like a needle and a thread connecting these different things that we do in this planning stage. The strategy and objectives in the need for any changes to tactical support, which were determined in the previous step with the three-column chart, should be reflected in your situation assessment of your sales force. Now, another analysis step is the building blocks gap analysis. You can see the building blocks on the left. I assume you know those if you're following my work. And then the gap analysis really is a very similar analysis to the situation assessment, except now you're applying this current state, desired future state thinking to ratings for each block. In other words, for buyer acumen, where are you today? And then if you want to move from the current state to the desired future state in your situation assessment, where would buyer acumen need to be? Now, you can do this on a sliding scale. You can do it on a Likert scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, whatever works for you, but identify clearly where you are and where you need to be. And again, the dot connection here is that you're assessing where you are and where you should be with each block based on what's needed to support the move from the current state to the desired future state in your previous situation assessment. This is, again, the needle in the thread linking these things that you're doing in these various steps of planning. And now comes the force field analysis. With all of the above work done, now you can feed the data and information from your situation assessment, which was done based on the strategy and tactical planning work, and your building blocks gap analysis, and funnel all of that into a force field analysis. Here's where you document the driving forces that are pushing you forward toward the desired future state, and any restraining forces that are holding you back, which, by the way, includes any missing information that you should have but don't. Then you can weight these forces, which will help you prioritize which ones do I want to act on first. Then, to develop an actionable enablement plan, ask 2 questions and document the answers in the action plan. Question 1, how can I reduce or eliminate the restraining forces? And question 2, how can I strengthen or add driving forces? As you answer these questions, document what you need to do, and that becomes your action plan of who will do what, with whom, if there's someone else involved, how will it get done, and by when. And now you've got the needle and the thread running all the way through from strategy, clear down through these various levels of analysis, to your action plan, which is your sales enablement plan to help achieve the results that your executive team and your senior sales leader need you to achieve. This is truly how you plan and use strategy and tie back to it to make an impact with enablement. Now, this is a quick video and shorter newsletter for this week due to some time constraints, but if you want to learn more, you know that there are a ton of resources available for you, and these aren't live links on a slide, but you can use these addresses to get there, or visit the newsletter and click on the links that are embedded there. You know there's a book, The Building Blocks of Sales Enablement. There's an ebook that's a complement to that on how to develop an enablement plan that will deliver results. There's this newsletter and a host of older newsletters that you can peruse through for topics that might interest you or help you in the moment. And we have the course, The Building Blocks of Sales Enablement Learning Experience, available through Felix Krueger and FFWD at goffwd.com/blocks. Reach out, explore resources. Some are completely free, a few are paid, but if you believe they'll help, dive in or reach out. I'd be happy to support you on your journey. Stay the course, enablers, and make an impact with enablement.